Anyway, my point was, you know, there's that meme that Elon Musk made where like the left moves further and further left. I think that the left has actually gone right in a weird way.
How is preventing death in a global pandemic?
Well, like, are you in favor of the war in Ukraine? I'm sorry,
what does that mean?
I'll rephrase. Do you believe the U.S. should be involved in providing material support to the Ukrainians?
I have been in favor of it, yes. I do think that there are legitimate concerns about the continuation of doing so without brokering a peace and it becoming some sort of proxy for U.S. like war criminals within the United States. But in terms of like the Russian invasion, I am completely opposed and in support of the Ukrainian people.
Yeah, it's more a question
good.
of like,
Nice.
should
Good
we have
position.
given, what are we at, like 100 and 200 billion?
I don't know, because there's guarantees which have not been delivered, and it's in terms of weapons, so I don't know what's actually been delivered.
This is what I don't understand. Like, people I used to know from back during Occupy are like flying Ukrainian flags and being like, we got to support this. Hassan Piker criticized me for saying we shouldn't be involved. And I'm
He
like,
also said the invasion wasn't going to happen for sure, like 100%,
sure.
then it happened the next day.
But my position has always been 99% non-intervention. Like, I've not changed at all in that regard.
Okay.
And the left has become pro-intervention, moving
But we're
them
not.
right.
But Ukraine is on the defense. They were invaded. This is not the same
You want to talk
thing.
about Kuwait and Iraq and...
You want to talk about that? I'm in
Well, no,
favor.
I mean, look,
we were the
do you think
equivalent of
she's-
Let's talk
Russia
about-
in the case of Iraq. We invaded under completely false pretenses. We invaded under illegal pretenses.
What I'm saying is, like, this just
and we
proves
killed
my point.
and decimated that country. Hundreds of thousands dead because of the
If the
U.S.
left
empire.
position was only opposed to war because of the circumstances of the war, then I would say the left is more pro-war and to the right of me on war.
I'm completely anti-war, but the war happened.
Oh, okay, here we go. Wait, why is this not? Oh, okay, here we go. Wait, why is this not? Oh, okay, here we go. Oh, and now it's doing the fucking thing. Why? I don't understand why that was happening. Unsave change, or yeah, save. I literally did nothing. I don't understand.
Because Russia invaded, and now Ukraine is trying to defend
Amazing.
itself.
Right.
They're on another thing like parental rights from before, where nobody is truly completely for or against war. Like war
Fuck,
is
what are we
gonna,
naming
it's gonna
Zangers?
depend on like other things that we're talking about. There's gonna be some wars that we support and some wars that we oppose, I would imagine, right?
So you're anti-war, you oppose war,
Yes.
but you're to the right of me when it comes to Ukraine.
I don't think so.
Do you believe that the U.S. should be supplying and aiding the Ukrainians?
I do believe so because
Right, who
they're
gets that
defending
money?
themselves.
Who gets that money?
The military.
But
they're defending
Raytheon,
themselves.
Northrop Grumman, Lockheed
Yeah,
Martin.
totally.
Yeah, I'm opposed to all of that.
I mean, look, if
You're to the right of me on
if
that
you
issue.
believe that Russia should be able to invade Ukraine and take territory without recourse, then I mean that's pro-imperialism. That's not, and that's still pro-war.
No,
Yes, it
a lot of
is.
people around the world do a lot of bad things. I don't think the U.S. should be an empire going and funding wars all over the world.
We're not funding wars. We're funding the defense. I mean,
Like-
and there's something that you can be said where should we draw a certain line? I have already conceded that strings should be attached and we should be involved in peace negotiations. But to flatten the power dynamics here, I mean, I would imagine this is like the same argument that you hear when it comes to Israel and Palestine, right? Where Palestinians are defending themselves, and then it's, oh my gosh, they are just it's completely symmetrical. Israel and Palestine. These are two actors just battling it out.
So you're in favor of intervention there?
I would love to fund Palestinians so that they were able to have a better
You are
life
to
for
the right
themselves.
of me on foreign policy.
Well, we already fund Israel, dude.
Yeah,
This shit is so cringe. They're trying to be like, you're to the right of me, you're to the left of me, you're to the right of me. That's such a cringe way of like measuring political positions.
Are you against that?
That's a tougher question I don't have an answer to.
Then you're in favor of funding military. We fund the Iron Dome. We fund their military-industrial complex.
Anything enough about it?
Then if it's
Is
your
this guy just a
principle and
wall?
you're anti-war, then you should be saying then we should cut Israel funding for Israeli defense right now.
I lean. That's why I said 99%. I'll say I absolutely lean against providing military aid to Israel. I just don't know. I will say a new war in Ukraine, in a territory that we are not, the United States is not, doesn't mean that I'm as far left as possible on the question of imperialism. It means that you are to the right of me on that issue.
Yeah.
Like your position would provide funding for massive multinational military-industrial.
Does
complex
Mean-look
corporations.
I mean, I
prevent
think
teleport?
that's the fact that
So many
we do
buzzwords.
I
have
think
those
they should be
contracts is messed
dismantled,
up. I think the
splintered
United
to 1,000 pieces and scattered
sure.
to the
I think
wind.
the United States should be more primarily. You want to nationalize the defense industry? You want to go for that? I'm
Mean-look.
down.
I don't know about nationalizing that. That
Let's
empowers it, makes it permanent.
Well, there's always going to be a weapons industry, and there's always
Should be
going to be.
decentralized.
It should be it should be severely cut
Wow,
into.
Chance
The
One One,
United
thanks for
States,
the
by the way, made
membership,
a
buddy.
promise in 1993 to Ukraine.
Ooh,
that we
it
would
does.
defend them if
Okay,
they
we'll save it.
denuclearize.
That's true.
So that is part of what we're doing in this instance.
That's true too, and I think that's an interesting
Wait, they
question.
can
about
escape,
upholding
but
our
they cannot
obligations
switch out.
that
Wait, what the fuck?
I don't disagree with. It would be very difficult for us. Granted, the issue is I think I'm like a little kid. I'm like 7 years old when something like that happens, and now in my name, we engage in this conflict and war. I think it's fair to say that while I can understand that treaty exists, as a now adult who is paying tax into this, I have the right to object to past agreements that weren't made by me.
He has a point, though. You argue for defending Ukraine, but I don't think
Including
this with U.S. funding
ingrain
Palestine
and
would make
binding
Israel take over, set a bad
moves.
precedent.
Well, Steelix
I
is
think that
dead.
who's right or wrong in the Israeli-Palestinian thing is way less clear-cut. But like, if Israel started to invade Palestine and literally genocide people, I mean, I probably would support some sort of like military intervention where we support Palestine there, right? The issue is supporting Palestine and Israel.
Oh, if
doesn't
they
have
have
to be
run
principle of the
away
matter,
or
it has to
holding
be
a
the fact of
smoke
the matter
ball.
in
Okay.
terms of like who's actually
Yeah, so
in
we're gonna
the
keep
right or
Mean-look
wrong.
just in case
And
we need it
that
for
issue is
Dust Skull.
significantly more complicated
Just 'cause it's like-
than Russia-Ukraine, which I think
Well,
is
you would
far
lead
more
with
straightforward
Crobat, right?
in terms of who is the good guy
Because you
versus the
Mean-look
bad guy.
first turn,
I just my point on this
and
one
then
was
just like
specifically,
AFK.
I see all these Ukrainian flags and profiles. I make a comment in agreement with Hassan where I was like, he was right about Mr. Beast.
Probably
And I
like
was talking
Mean-look
about
into
military
Confuse Ray,
intervention
maybe?
and how it's wrong. We're spending $100 billion on this
Mean-look
war.
just
We
lasts
shouldn't be doing
forever,
it, and
right?
we laughed at
Until
it.
you switch out.
And I'm just like, genuine question. When did it become?
But yeah, we're
maybe I
gonna
was always
box
wrong.
both of
When I
these
was at like
guys.
Occupy or doing these like anti-Iraq war protests back in the 2000s,
Because these are gonna
I thought that it was
be
the left
candidates for
position
the
to oppose
Ludicolo.
military expansion, military-industrial complex. But today, it's inverted. Strangely, it's the Trump supporters saying no war. and
No,
it's the
because they're in
liberals saying
favor of
pro-war.
Russian imperialism. That is, you're again flattening power dynamics of who was the invader and who has been invaded.
That's not what I'm talking about.
I am.
The reality here is trying to figure out who's pro-imperialist, anti-imperialist, blah, 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 blah. Again, through this lens, I think it's going to be very difficult to figure out who's in favor or against particular things. I think the actual lens here is the establishment, or rather the populist lens. I think that populists tend to be in favor of isolation to further bolster domestic policy. So a populist is generally going to say things like, they'll say statements like this: I don't think we should be sending money to X country when we've got Y people that are sick here. Or they might say things like, I don't think we should be taking immigrants into this country when we've got people here that need help. A populist is generally going to favor domestic policy, or even like protectionist policy. A populist might also say something like, I don't think we should be importing so much steel from this country when we should be making steel in our own country. I don't think we should be buying cars from Mexico when we could be building them in the United States. These are populist statements. When you look at it through a populist lens, then everything becomes like pretty straightforward. So for instance, like even Bernie Sanders supporters are going to align heavily with Trump supporters on some things. They'll say things probably along the lines of like, why are we sending so much money to Ukraine? Why are we so invested in issues over there? Why are we playing global police when we've got Bernie Sanders supporters might say when we've got homeless people here, when we've got low-wage workers here that aren't being
Move
paid
slots
fair
matter
wages,
a
or
lot
when we're
more
not
on this
investing enough
guy.
in like child health care or whatever, right?
Pump,
Trump supporters
no.
might say we're not investing enough in industry or manufacturing. Why are we pouring all this money over there when we could be investing in ourselves?
Ice
or
beam
reducing the debt,
over
right?
bounce.
But the populist lens, I think, fully explains the points of view. Trying to figure out who's more right or left or imperialist or unimperialist is, I don't think you're going to get very good predictiveness there.
I'm in favor of the United States abiding by the treaty that we promised Ukraine in 1993.
Okay.
I'm not talking
where
about
we
any of
said
that. I'm
that we were
talking about
going
the
to
moral
94, but nice job to even bring that up. Good work.
defend them
Position
if
on
they
war.
do
Right, right, right.
nuclearize. And by the way, why I'm
Yeah, I
more
oppose that.
pro-war than you, or anti-war, Jesus, anti-war than you.
I don't
is
think
that
you
I'm
ever
in
click a
favor of
track,
broad
right?
denuclearization, and I
Like,
think
you
that we
get the
should
PM
continue to
from,
make our promises to countries that choose not to
that
engage
make you
in
more-
making
You
nuclear
get the
power
TM
does that
from
make it
this
more
or
than
in,
me?
in nuclear weaponry.
I don't disagree on that at all.
Okay, then there you go.
Favor of
But
all.
I'm in favor of committing and making our and because
I'm
they
tempted to just go
denuclearized
grab,
and said that we're
or
not
let
going to
me
create
sell
nuclear
some of this
weaponry,
shit.
I am in favor of keeping our promise on that front, so that we are able to incentivize and keep our promises that we are going to back you up if you choose not to make nuclear weaponry.
Maybe it's not a left or right thing. Maybe it's more of just like a liberal.
Tim is really good. Somebody pointed this out in chat earlier that he's doing this, and he is doing this.
Two
He's doing that
hard
thing where he
scales,
skirts away
huh?
from a point that he's completely wrong on, and you don't feel like he's actually lost one because he just goes right to the next thing. She is right though. She's referring to the Budapest memorandums that
Oh,
were
wait,
made
do I have
between the nuclear powers.
Oh, no, I
and
haven't done the
Ukraine
thing yet.
and
Oh, God, I
Kazakhstan
have to do all
and,
that bullshit.
Belarus. Was that the three? Ukraine, Kazakhstan, and Belarus, I think. Which is correct. But
Oh, cool.
now he like completely skirted away from that.
libertarian thing.
I mean,
Libertarian versus authoritarian.
I think it's that first of all, anti-war is a dumb like position. I'm sorry.
True.
Yeah, everybody's like anti-wars they don't like, but
Exactly,
obviously
yes.
like I can composite
It's
a scenario
Budapest.
where you would support like an intervention. Like if you gave me time to like
That's
think
why I
about
say
it. and all
99%
that, right.
because nothing's absolute. Like if you were to tell me that Vladimir Putin, he's live streaming himself about to launch a nuclear weapon at Washington D.C., I'd be like, okay, we got to do something about that.
But there's something to what she's saying, where the Ukraine, after the fall of the Soviet Union, had the third largest nuclear weapon stockpile.
That's right.
And in exchange for giving it up, there were security
Dude,
guarantees.
I can't believe
now,
this fucking-
if you're worried about nuclear
Why?
proliferation, in
Why did they
other
give me
countries
this
that might
guy?
lead to a nuclear
Why does he have
war,
sassy nature,
protecting
bro?
or
It's
making
fine.
sure that they
It's
can
whatever.
maintain their territorial integrity, just as an example to
Oh,
other
whoa,
countries that
whoa,
might want to
whoa, we're not doing
denuclearize in
that,
the
okay.
future. Is a worthwhile stake, and I
Yes,
think I
true.
understand that position. Like, it makes perfect sense in my opinion.
Yep.
I understand it. I don't care though, right? So it's kind of like if some dude cut a deal with, like, someone in my family cut a deal with someone else, and then 30 years later they walk up and say, you know, your dad told me that if I ever had this problem, you were going to take care of me. I'd be like, I'm not my dad. I'm sorry. Like, governments change, policies change, and the idea that because 30 years ago someone cut you a promise means that I now have to spend $200 billion defending you. The people of this generation who are inheriting this country did not agree to that. No, it's fine. If
So
you
That agreement is built into you being a citizen of this country. That's like saying, I'm not going to pay federal taxes anymore because I'm a citizen of the state of Texas. I didn't agree to be part of a union. I didn't vote on my state joining the United States of America. Like, I want to be my own state. I didn't agree to that. None of the people in Texas, not a single living person today. Wait, when did Hawaii become a state? Was that in like the... Wait, hold on.
Hold
Oh,
up.
okay, it was the 50s. I was gonna say that sounds stupid because what about Pearl Harbor? But it could have been a territory when Pearl Harbor happened or whatever. Okay, okay. Yeah, so like, yeah, that's a okay. So maybe some people were alive when it was voted for, but
what
can
does that
support it.
say to people who might be manufacturing their own nuclear weaponry? That it doesn't, that the promises made by the world superpower don't really matter. And
Yeah, I don't like the idea
you
of
shouldn't
America being
necessarily
this like,
trust it.
world superpower.
I
Like,
agree.
my views is probably different from you in that regard. I'm more so like, I think it'd be great if we brought jobs back here.
Yep.
If we protected the middle class.
Yep.
Maybe had stronger workers' rights.
yep. So here's all the
100%.
populist
I'm big
talking
on
points that I was talking
unions.
about.
I'm in
Yeah,
favor of that.
Tariffs on imports.
Yep.
for two
Protectionism,
reasons.
imports. Yep.
The idea that we manufacture a car in China
Ma-
and then ship it on a boat over here just to waste energy because
How do I do it? How do I? It's because I pre-watch everything. No, but seriously though, right? Okay, I hope I can make good arguments for why my political analysis is better, right? Because if you analyze it through a populist lens, you can see everything that he's going to say, and you understand their points of view a lot more than just being like, some people are more to the right, and some people are more to the left, and some people are whatever, right? Like, you get better predictions on what people actually believe. And when I say this, when I'm predicting this, I don't mean I'm predicting it like Tim Pool is stupid or I'm predicting it as a big own. I'm just saying in terms of like understanding other people's political points of view, right? Yeah.
someone's
Alright, so
going
we
to
got all
achieve
this
that's
shit.
nonsensical to me. Just buy American. So we need to build up the incentives for all the manufacturing to happen here in the United States to create.
Okay, we have all this. Oh, I haven't even finished watching this fucking video. Well, I have this open at least. Because we want sweet PokeBlocks. We want sweet PokeBlocks and spicy PokeBlocks because we want plus speed, and then we want to throw spicy so it's the highest chance for it to be neutral. I don't know how it works in terms of this stuff though. Because I need sweet and spicy. So let's see, like Pecha Berry. If I just like throw a Pecha Berry in here, is this gonna be like only sweet? Pink. Okay, I want to like watch this fucking video. Should I like pull this video up? I guess. Fuck it, I don't care.
Hey, it's Lemons with Professor's Test Kitchen. This is part of Professor Rex and I have for sour with their berries converted into blocks. And while I have a nice blender that's easy to use, you will not be using the same blenders. So in order to explain PokeBlock blending, and both on Ruby Sapphire and Emerald, we have our resident PokeBlock blending expert, Lemons, to explain.
Oh my god.
So the two-player PokeBlock blending strategy obviously involves using two systems, two games, and a link cable. The first thing you want to do is fly
What
to
is
any
this
city
two-player
with a
shit?
Pokemon contest hall. Strategy. You have to go to specific contest halls because there are different NPCs at each. For this recipe, we're going to be going to Verdant Turf Town and using a Rostberry when we play with the old man. After the game is over, you should receive a green Pokeball. And again, you're kind of going crazy. I will, but Fandy, go check out Professor Rex's half of the video. But
I'm so confused. Is this like not? It just says sweet on the thing though. I don't know. It would, I feel like it would just say, right? Cherry probably makes the other one, right? Yeah, we need spicy and we need, what you do, see? Sweet, so. I don't know how much it matters if I'm like participating enough or whatever, so I'm just gonna participate. Yeah, let's see if I can just AFK it or whatever. I mean, they're all exactly the same. I'm probably inting and I like don't even know, but I don't really care. Like, if it's making a red PokeBlock, it should literally just work, right? Like, I don't think the shit matters. So we put pink into the feeder, and then we throw red at the Pokemon. Okay, Safari Zone. We want area for Acrobike. Oh shit, where's the, let me get a map of this thing. Okay, area 4. Let me just double check. Yeah, speed is sweet, which is pink. Donphan. We run because it's a dupe. Do I have to put a new one in? Okay, it's still here. Gotcha. No, why do we get a Seviper? No, that's so bad. Wait, why did it run? Whatever, it's a Seviper, bro. That's so dumb. I hate this shit. It's so retarded. I think it's literally just the 1 heart scale. That's the only item in here, right? It's a Seviper. I could give a fuck, honestly. What are the odds of Seviper? Oh, they're 10%. I mean, yeah. Can't really complain. What are you gonna do? I guess I should have taken Samu's $5. But I don't believe in results-based analysis. No! Fuck you, bro. Bro, imagine getting the Donphan in the Safari Zone, though. Holy. Alright. Yeah, I was gonna go grab Recover on my Lodic because there's no reason not to. Actually, is there a reason not to? Like, how many scales do I... I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends how many scales I'm gonna need for, like, other shit. I have 4 right now. I don't think you get any more for, like, a little bit, though. Yeah, you don't get any more until Fishing Sim. Okay, we already got Pyre. Oh, actually, I don't need to worry about 122 because we already got the encounter there. That's nice, at least. Oh, let me actually check Lily Cove. Nah, I think Lily Cove is like too high roll, bro. Oh, wait a second. I already have Grand Bolt, don't I? It's just dead. Yeah, LOL. Vileplume and Bellossom would be nice. I mean, obviously, like, BA for Alligator would be insane. Like, maybe Togetic would be okay. That thing is way too slow, though. Is Wigglytuff okay? I'm probably just gonna get jump buff, though, is the problem. Bro, Wigglytuff has 4 moves? Yeah, Wigglytuff is horrible. I mean, Jigglypuff isn't much better, right? Yeah, the only, like, other... Because you don't get a recovery move, so Recycle's useless, probably. I mean, T-Wave would be kind of cool. Maybe Seismic Toss. But yeah, Wigglytuff is just like a shitter normal. Alrighty. Let's plan some fights. Mence Oko's this guy. And then we just like switch into something that outspeeds or whatever is the idea. Yeah, we just do like Sceptile Mence basically. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. This baits probably Absol. It should. Absol wants to use superpower. Oh, he could also sub. Kinda not good, right? Kinda trash. You just got a Donphan spam moves, right? What's Donphan's level? 65. It could be worse, right? Grumpig. It'd be nice to have a dark type, right? Bro, what? Wow. That's because Grumpig's attack is so garbage. Can I go to, like, Milo? Oh wait, this is gonna bait Golduck anyway. Who's gonna use... he probably uses Surf, right? Yeah, he probably never uses Ice Beam here. Lantern kind of bodies this guy. And then, bring like Fearow as an XP dump. Wait, I have a surf? This guy knows surf. He also knows surf. I'm not forgetting anything, right? I shouldn't be. Oh, that's not even the person. Wow. 3 protects in a row. Can I stay in for a turn? Yeah, like I just overlevel them so much. Alright, let me go to the bathroom really quick. I also want to refill my coffee. Okay.
Good jobs to protect the workers. Worry less about whether or not we're going to go blow up some foreign country, a bunch of kids in it or something like that.
But I think like there's like a like you're not seeing this past like what's currently happening now. Because I get it, right? And I was a big Ron Paul guy, and he didn't like the idea that one generation could promise the sons of a future generation.
Right. That's exactly
and
right.
I understand that position, but if we don't want Saudi Arabia to nuclearize, we don't want Iran to nuclearize, and we're like,
Our
hey,
promises
like,
have to mean
like,
something.
we got you. Like, don't nuclearize. We're gonna try to, like, you know, be the 800-pound gorilla in the room so that you don't have problems.
Our nuclear
and then
umbrella.
they look and say, well, you made that promise to Ukraine, and then 30 years later, they're invaded by Russia and completely
Why are we
obliterated.
making those promises?
Because
Subtile
we don't get
destroys
nuclear
this
weapons.
guy.
No, you know, the idea
is
that
How could
we have,
any
we have-
treaty exist, Tim, if
Yes.
it's people had your position and just said,
True.
yeah, fuck it.
Yep.
people.
So that's
treaties-
anti-diplomacy, and that's
treaty-
pro-war.
Any treaty.
Yep.
Oh, come on.
Being
Me literally being like, we
anti-diplomacy-
shouldn't go to war. Like, that's pro-war.
Well, being
the idea that
anti-diplomacy is
we can make a
pro-war.
treaty around, here's why we won't attack you. Totally fine. Here's a treaty around, I'm going to allow your citizens to cross my border with no visa, and we'll reciprocate, like, back and forth. And then having one being like, in 30 years, if anyone comes to fight you, we will fight on your behalf, despite the fact that you're not an allied nation or a bunch of other issues. I don't think at any point, ever, the U.S. should have been making these promises. And then to come out and be like, but now Saudi Arabia is, oh, I'm sure. Every country is going to be upset if we don't fight on the behalf of some other country.
No, it's not. It's not
There
about.
are limitations. Look, nothing's absolute. I get it. We're in this position now. There's an interesting question of South Korea. People ask me, what if China invaded? And I'm like, well, we got a lot of troops there right now. So I understand the circumstances of today. But the issue is, you know, for one,
So it goes
we
to
could have put a no-fly zone
Mantine
over
after
Ukraine before the
Septile
invasion
kills
started.
4.
That would have stopped
Literally
Russians.
murders the entire team.
Absolutely not. A no-fly zone over a country that's not in NATO is
This dude
arguably an act of war.
outspeeds
Crimea was already owned
and
by Russia.
Okos.
Even prior to 2014, Sevastopol was already a least Russian base. No-fly zone is, you're literally in active war territory there. Destiny, what about Syria? Wasn't a no-fly zone like threatened, but they didn't actually enforce it? I thought in Syria we didn't actually have, because Russian jets and shit were still flying over Turkey to get to Syria and shit. No-fly zones are really, 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 really big deals. A no-fly zone is essentially saying that, like, if you fly planes over here, we're gonna be shooting those planes down. We're gonna be blowing those planes up. Iraq and the Gulf War, we went to war with Iraq. We went to war. That's what a no-fly zone means, right? If you're talking about a no-fly zone, you're saying that if I see your planes in the sky, I'm gonna blow them up. That would be that is, well, it's not even, it's just, it's funny because, like, maybe because Turkey shot one of Russia's jets in 2015. Yeah, because Turkey accused their jet of flying in Turkish airspace. Now, whether or not they actually were or weren't, I don't know if that was ever resolved. But yeah.
There's a chance he uses ice beam.
Tracks. They
Well, a
couldn't-
no-fly zone is a de
Llama in
facto
the
declaration of
sky
war
by
once the plane
Llama
gets
in the
shot down.
sky.
Yep.
That means Russia would have to have shot
Llama
down.
in the sky.
Would have had to attack us.
No, that's Tim. That's not how that works. You can't just put a no. You can't put a no-fly zone on the same. Like, hey, by the way, if you attack them, that's a tough. Yeah, at that point, you're basically like they're in NATO. You're like Article 5ing people, right? Like,
I mean, either way, that the no-fly zone and
Right,
us getting
yes.
more directly involved in that way would be catastrophic potentially. War between two nuclear powers.
yes.
If agreed, fair point. I think my position is more so just this is a Russian border dispute over the Donbass region. The U.S.
It's an invasion, Tim.
Border dispute.
Sure. I'm talking about the specifics of why they're doing it.
It's,
right?
Wait,
They've
what?
invaded Ukraine because they want the land bridge into Crimea. Why do they want the land bridge into Crimea? Because Western forces were courting Ukraine. Ukraine was being courted to the Russian Trade Federation and to the European Union. Ukrainians wanted to join the European Union. It would be a massive boost to their economy, and they get access to the Schengen zone. It's wonderful. Russia didn't like that. So Russia tried to intervene. Yanukovych was ousted, fled the country. Russia then immediately got their troops outside of Sevastopol and said, we're claiming this, our warm water port in the Black Sea. And then we started to see the bubbling up of the Eastern conflict. Some people call it a civil war. And then finally, when Russia was losing and said, if we cannot lose access to the Black Sea, they said, we're taking the Donbass. And this
Yeah,
is
it's
where
a
we are.
territorial imperialism.
So why are we involved? Because of a treaty from 30 years ago.
Yeah, because
Right.
we made a
That
promise
I think we should not have made. And
So you think
but-
that they should not have gotten rid of their nuclear stockpile?
Who
You
said
think
that?
they should, because that was what the
That was
treaty
the treaty
based
was
on.
oh, we
about.
could have offered him something else.
What?
But that's what.
What would you have offered them, Tim? Wait, what?
But they would.
A lot of things,
That's the
money.
reason why they would keep them is to protect themselves
Yes.
from from Russian aggression.
Now, there is an extended argument that them keeping those nukes didn't actually keep Ukraine safe at all, because I'm not actually sure if Ukraine even had the chassis or the vehicles or the missiles possible to even utilize those nuclear warheads, because I think they were part of the old Soviet Union stock. I don't know if Ukraine had access to those weapons in terms of usability. I don't know how relevant that is, but
because Russia historically expands westward until they hit a stronger power. And this is because the geographical limitations to how Russia can develop have been the same for hundreds of years. So Russia always goes.
Ukraine made those missiles. Remember, a missile. Oh, I'm about to talk a lot of shit. I'm pretty sure I'm right on this. Missiles are just delivery vehicles. You can shoot a missile that does nothing. Now, typically, you put a warhead on a missile. You can put a normal explosive ordnance, whatever, on a missile, and when it launches into something, it blows it up, and that's what a missile does. Or you can put a nuclear warhead on a missile.
Over ice
But
beam,
my understanding is that a nuclear warhead is a sophisticated device. If you take a missile and put a nuclear warhead on it and fly it into something and it crashes into it, I don't think it does anything. You can't just launch a nuke at somebody and have it collide and then it blows up like I think normal explosives will. For a nuclear warhead, you have to start a process within the warhead that actually causes the fusion-fission combination to actually split the atoms to cause a nuclear explosion. It's not just it hits something and it blows up. So if you don't have the codes or whatever to properly, I guess, arm a nuclear warhead, I don't think you can just put one on a missile and shoot it somewhere and then have it cause a nuclear explosion. I believe that's the case. But also, I don't know the sophistication of the cryptography or whatever that's securing these words. Maybe it's possible that in time Ukraine could reverse engineer, or Ukraine could hack Russia, or get intelligence peoples or something to figure out what those words were. You probably don't want that stockpile sitting there, you know. Like what Eric said. Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. Yeah.
Goes that direction. That's why Poland immediately, in the first opportunity, joins NATO.
Or what OG Zombie Blunt said. You could probably use the fissile material to make a new bomb. That could be true. Maybe you can dismantle the warheads, use the fissile material to manufacture new nuclear warheads as well. Sure.
As Poland was called the Bloodlands in World War II because they had the unfortunate situation where two strong powers were attacking.
Wasn't there also a treaty that NATO wouldn't expand?
No, this is false.
There was never an agreement.
Sean watches so much of my content, I can tell. All of my arguments. Bring him on to Tim Pool. Good job. I'm proud of you, buddy. I'm just kidding. He might have done all this research independently or whatever. But I know he watched my stuff.
All right. Wasn't there also a treaty that NATO wouldn't expand?
No, this is false.
There was never an agreement.
This is a misinterpretation that is often inflated, and Gorbachev has clarified this specifically.
True.
It's after the Berlin Wall fell, which the Soviet Union was still around. They said that they would not move their military forces within Berlin 1 inch eastward, right? This did not apply to Poland or any of these other countries because they were a part of the Soviet Union.
True.
And again, Gorbachev himself, who would have been the person in charge, has made this clear. So this is weird propaganda that gets put out by.
What do you think happens if we let Russia take
ruins this guy? What the fuck?
I think they're going to try to expand their sphere of influence as far westward as they can possibly do because that's what they do historically.
But this is completely denying the sovereignty of Ukrainians. I mean, what does Ukraine want? They want the ability to defend themselves,
True.
And the United States is providing them with that. And you can talk if we want to follow our treaties and
wait, what about
give them the ability
Gyarados?
to
Does
defend themselves against
he baits
imperialism?
Bennet actually?
Man, I've always.
Imperialism is war.
I think also the point
Feraligatr does
earlier,
not
that
have
Saudi
ancient
Arabia cares
power.
about
That's
Ukraine,
interesting.
but
I thought he
when
would.
you're negotiating with somebody, right? Past
So
behavior.
this
is
should
the
be
best
Wish
predictor of
Cash,
future
and
future
this should be
behavior,
So when
either
we're trying to
earthquake
negotiate
or
denuclearization
waterfall.
with any other country, and our example of what
abandoning
happened to somebody
Ukraine.
who agreed to give up their nuclear stockpile is Ukraine, which is currently now part of Russia. They're not going to want to negotiate with us. So
True.
it leads to potential problems down the line. Not to mention, historically, when conflict breaks out on the European continent, a lot of Americans eventually go over there and die in order to set things right. And I don't want a third world war.
Ooh, he's got a
I think
King's
this is
Rock.
what makes the Third World War.
I mean, could agree to disagree on that.
Russia could have taken the Donbass region, and we would have been like, wow, that was bad, that was horrible, and it would have been like
He
Crimea.
probably doesn't use it on
Crimea
Wishcash
got
though,
taken,
right?
and it was a big news event.
The
and
scary
they
thing-
showed
Were
up
they
for 4
shelling the
years.
capital? Was it not beyond the Donbass region where they were attacking?
When they
sure it
did
was
the
just the
actual
Donbass region.
invasion.
No,
Because
they
he
were,
outspeeds.
They were
shelling
invading the
Kyiv,
country.
They were shelling all over the
Tim.
all over the country.
I mean,
mean-
look, let's be real. Russia claims the whole territory of the Ukraine and like their
So it'll be
greater
him
Russia
and with
as
Mr.
part of them.
Mime?
So like they may
there
be
we
saying
go.
there's
we
ethnic
found,
Russians
we found
right
some
now.
connections here. There
Right.
we go. That's beautiful.
Like there might be ethnic Russians in the Donbass.
Should we go to war with China?
Absolutely not.
Depends on for what.
Are they
We're not
invading
in war
Taiwan?
with Russia right now, so that's the difference. That's the real line that needs to be drawn, is making sure that this does not become a proxy battle. And there are forces that want to push for that. I mean, I think that frankly the Biden administration's been a bit more disciplined, and I'm happy than
True.
I initially anticipated on this front. I remember when the initial invasion happened, Hillary Clinton went on cable news and said, well,
Yeah,
this
I don't
could be a
want
real
the fire
opportunity to
punch.
weaken Putin, and we called that
Do I
out
wanna
in the
get to
Majority Report
65
as an
and not
incredibly
worry about this at
dangerous
all?
notion. So
She wanted war from the get-go back in 2016.
sure. I mean,
I think
that's the kind of force within the Democratic Party I'm trying to beat back.
I think that America being a global hegemon is a good thing because those power vacuums will be filled when we leave. I want to not go to war, but I want countries to feel like we would go to war because I like deterrence as a policy. So, like, I
I
don't
hear it. It's tough because it's not working, and that's why I'm at the. you know,
It's
my
not
view
working?
is
I'm sorry, what
strengthen this
NATO
country,
countries have been invaded
you know, shore
ever?
up our
Wait, what do you
defenses,
mean?
Focus
It's
on
not working.
empowering our people with.
I feel like NATO has probably been. This is too strong. I don't have the history knowledge, but I would like to say it seems like NATO has probably been one of the strongest military deterrents, probably in world history. Like in all the history of the world, NATO has probably been the most effective deterrent for "don't fuck with me."
to live, work, eat, sleep, Medicare.
What does that look
I'm not Medicare, medical care in
But
some capacity.
Medicare for all potentially.
I don't. That's a specific thing. I
Socialist,
call it.
public option. How about that?
I
Drive
call
down
it
healthcare
universal
prices.
basic health care.
What does that mean?
We provide basic health care to all people.
How so?
Well, I mean, if you want to get into the intricacies of it, I could ask you the same question. I'm saying that
Yeah, through taxation.
The average-
For me,
I
creating a
yes,
socialized healthcare system.
But I don't know if I would call it a socialized healthcare system. Probably because I think you're going further than I'm going with it. I'm
Okay.
saying like
How else do you raise money then to have like a
I'm not saying
government
not
option?
taxes. I'm saying
Okay.
like if my limit is usually like if someone's got some like rare degenerative genetic disorder that requires $20 billion to treat, like we have a limit. We can't do that. You know what I mean? That's why I say
Yeah,
basic.
Bates Bennett.
There was a story about a kid.
It actually... Wait, why does it bait Bennett? Over Ursaring. He has HP Ghost. Because Psychic is weak to Ghost. I feel like this shit, but I guess I'm wrong. I mean, do we want a Hari? Hari, do not outspeed. Wait, does Donphan outspeed? Ooh. There's like a really good chance he clicks Scary Face. I mean, he takes like 0 damage to, what to doozy though. The tank. Yeah, scary face. Cool. Oh, thank God Gyarados knows Surf, dude. Holy shit. Does Sceptile kill this guy? Of course he does. Of course he does.
What is he
I
talking
think it was
about?
Louisiana who had a genetic disorder. The treatment cost $1 million, and the family demanded the state cover it. The state said we can't afford to cover it. And they
But
were
why
like,
do you think that healthcare is so heavily inflated in terms of costs in this
Well,
country?
for one, the insurance companies are all corrupt and broken.
Absolutely, absolutely. In Germany and the UK, they spend half of what we do, and they have socialized healthcare, and they have better outcomes in terms of life expectancy. And
I think outcomes are
mortality.
comparable,
Didn't
not that
Canada
much
do
better.
the
A
thing
little
with,
better, I
like,
think. But
cheaper insulin from Canada or something?
I think Biden might have done something to like
The insulin was a part of the negotiations in the Inflation Reduction Act.
But I just want to
This
point
is
out
another,
those are horrible
Sceptile
metrics, life
sweeps.
expectancy and infant mortality. For two
Sceptile
reasons.
kills
Number one,
all.
if you take out car accidents in the United States of America, our life expectancy.
And we
shoots
arrive at
dramatically down.
Nidoking.
In Europe, a lot less people drive,
Yeah.
and considering we're
Okay, so this guy could get Quick Claw Signal Beam. We don't die to crit. But we should have a backup for this. We should probably have like Gyarados, right? We'll just put Gyarados in because why not? There is no reason not to. What's his moveset? Okay. Okay, and then who kills Nidoking? It's probably just Cash. Yeah, Cash destroys this guy. Yeah, and then Donphan. This guy's Thunder, though. Okay, this guy has Surf. So Dragonite's gonna use Double Edge against this guy. There's never gonna be any rain up, right? Nope. There's no rain. I mean, worst case scenario, It's not like Kabutops ever dies to not Thunder. Well, he doesn't die to Thunder either, but... And I mean, we just like always outspeed in Oko. So this should just be like another freebie. X-Scissor. Crawdon. Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade. Yeah, he Signal Beams. Kill him anyway. Switch to Whiskers. He misses. LOL. He should double edge here. Outspeed and kill with Ancient Power. Risky AI.
Talking about medical care, I think we should.
I don't believe that our life expectancy increases dramatically. Isn't it like 40,000 people a year die in car accidents? Is it really that dramatic? I'd be curious to see the numbers on that. Car accident deaths per year, USA, 42,900. Is that, would that really have an ultra traumatic increase on our overall life expectancy? I'm curious.
Focus on things that describe the impact of medical care. As for infant mortality, this is one of the worst metrics, because if you are born at any point for a split second and you die, you go into our infant mortality statistics. In France, for example, you have to have...
Yeah, what he's about to talk about here is true. I'm gonna cut him off so I seem smarter. Different people measure things and are more aggressive for infant mortality in other ways. Like, for instance, this is one of the things that people bring up a lot of times. Cuba has eliminated infant mortality. And it's like, holy shit, it's actually such an unbelievably groundbreaking medical breakthrough that Cuba has figured out a way to completely eliminate infant mortality. And the reason why Cuba's done it is because Cuba aborts every single baby that might have complications before it's born. In Cuba, from 2015 to 2019, there were a total of 301,000.
Like, I'm pro-abortion, and I still think that's kind of shit. I mean, I guess you just go back and make a new one. GG. I guess that's the mentality. Is that a good way to run shit though? I don't really. I don't know if that's healthy. I don't know if that's a healthy way to think about it. I'm trying to think of who else has a ground move that can just kill this muck. Well, I guess here, hold on. Let me actually see what this matchup is. Yeah, Golem shits on this guy. I shouldn't worry here. Even not Magma. Yeah, Magneton. Oh, because this guy's Calm Nature. Why is he Calm Nature? Yeah, I could use Magneton here. I could use a bunch of shit. Wow, Swampert doesn't even have a whatcha-doozy move. That's interesting. He doesn't have a ground move.
pregnancies. Of these, 147,000 ended in abortion.
So we always outspeed and OHKO this muck. There is no variance here whatsoever. This will bait Jinx. I think it's just because he's the next guy in line. I feel like this should bait Swampert though. Fake Tears is not a poison move. It's a dark move. So I'm a little bit confused by this. I feel like this should be Swampert. It should see phase 2 Sludge Bomb. So I'm like a little I'm a little skeptical to like use this guy here. I don't think it matters that much though. I think I can just bring Kabutops and like we're good. Or even maybe Magmar too. Just to like get him some screen time. Kabu baits Sableye, Magmar baits Azu. Azu, ooh. Yeah, he could use either or here. Sceptile baits Pert. So I think we go. Hold on. Wait. Sorry. What does Fake Tears do? Fake Tears is special defense, right? Lowers special defense by 2 stages. Okay. So this is irrelevant, essentially. So this guy wants to use Blizzard or Fake Tears. We go to Magmar. We give him Lumberry. We give this guy a Citrus Berry. Because this is like random between these two. I can even pivot through Kabu if I'm like really worried. But yeah, and then this is Pert. Kill that guy. Kill that guy, kill that guy. Relicanth, probably just kill that guy as well. Like, there's no reason not to. Yeah. Nobody's, like, setting up Rain, even though, like, multiple Pokemon on this team have Rain. Also, how does this Sableye... Oh, he's only level 48. Holy shit, dude. Why is he only level 48? Okay. That's wild to me. Donphan just 1v1s this guy. Okay, there's no pre-damaging, right? Lum, citrus. XP share. Wait. Ooh. I don't have surf on anybody. Who am I bringing? It is Jinx, okay. He should actually see kill with Hydro Pump here, because I'm minus Spadef. We're gonna just make sure though. Oh, he misses the Hydro Pump on this guy. Beautiful. Pump. Kill this guy with Leaf Blade. Kill this guy with Leaf Blade. Kill this guy with Leaf Blade. Sableye wants to use Shadow Ball here. I'm never dead to crit. I might as well just get off damage. Confuse Ray, very cute. Go to this guy. And we win. Okay, one more, and then it's the back to back to back. I'm just gonna go to this guy. Okay. I'm gonna take a piss right quick.
Cuba's abortion rate is, I believe it is the highest in the world. In 1977, the Cuban population reached 420 legal abortions per 1,000 pregnancies. They have an unbelievably high. Today, we read about the international press that Cuba is the Latin American country with the highest abortion rate of 62% of all pregnancies. But yeah, this says 72.8 abortions per 100 births. But anyway, yeah. So when child mortality is an infant one. In the United States, I think we try pretty aggressively to save most pregnancies. But that gives you the downside that if you try to save more kids, born babies, you're gonna have higher infant mortality because more of them are gonna die. So you have to be careful in terms of like how, also, I think in some countries, if you have a baby and it's like a stillbirth, or if the baby dies of like complications immediately after, I don't know if that's factored into infant mortality in the same way that it would be in the United States. I think that's what he's about to bring up with France.
Have the pregnancy gestate for over 20 weeks, and you have to be alive for a full 24 hours. So this is just not an apples to apples comparison.
I think that doctors would disagree with your assessment that the infant mortality rates are overinflated, but I'll then just
They're just measuring different things.
They're measured
they can
differently.
disagree with that, but they would be incorrect, wrong,
but
not
how
even
about
close.
the cost element that I just mentioned?
Yeah, cost is definitely a huge
Higher in the
problem.
United
That's
States.
because
This
we
has
have
to do with third-party
privatized
payers.
healthcare. That's because we have privatized healthcare.
I would disagree.
It dominates.
I don't completely disagree. I got a kidney stone, and my bill was like 40
Hey,
grand.
so I've had a kidney stone before.
They charged me like 40 grand. And then
40
when
grand?
because I was between jobs, I left Vice, and I was starting at Fusion,
For
and I
what?
had this
Jesus.
1 week gap where I told the guys, I was like, give me a week to get to move my stuff, and then I'll start. And that week, all of a sudden, I'm like, like what's happening? It was crazy. People think that kidney stones are like you're going to the bathroom, and all of a sudden you're like, no, it's like in your body, up in your back, like in your gut. They thought it was appendicitis at first.
Yeah.
I went to the hospital for I think like 2 days.
Fuck, I hate listening to this.
And they
Kidney stones
charged
are
me something
horrible.
like
I've
40
never had one before, thank God.
No, sure.
It was because I had just left, so they sent me a bill, and I'm like, holy crap. So I call, and I was like, I just left my job, and I have a 1 week lapse in my insurance. And they went, oh, no problem. And they emailed me the new bill, and it was $4 grand. And then I was like, now hold on there a minute. What happened?
There's definitely
Fortunately, shout
Cobra?
out to all the complaints I've had about Fusion. They said, don't worry, man, we're going to pay for it for you. That shouldn't have happened to you. And I said, thank you. But like the idea that I went to the hospital for 2 days and they did nothing for me. Now, to be fair, I shouldn't say that. I got put in like a CAT scan or whatever. They were trying to figure out what it was. They thought I had appendicitis, and they were like, you may need to have to get surgery right away. And they were like, good news, it's a kidney stone. And I was like, that sounds like terrible. And it was like, well, we're not getting surgery. It just means go home.
Well, now you know, Tim, what it's like to have a baby. So
Oh, yeah, apparently.
that's apparently it's the equivalent pain.
Was it a viable stone, though?
Okay. We're definitely bringing the septile here. I'm just gonna like leave because I know I'm gonna forget the surf shit. So I'm just gonna go back. I love how that one doesn't work. All right. We need to think this through. Honestly, probably Septile and Wishcash can literally just kill both these guys. The only issue is really Bright Powder. Oh wait, no, King's Rock is actually a problem. But overall, like, Wishcash destroys Electabuzz. Maybe I bring Lantern even, but Lantern has to be coupled with Gyarados, and then you need like Gyarados to get more value in other fights. So there's like a kind of like a lot of stuff going on there that I might not want to be doing. Yeah, Quagsire is really good for these. If you have Water Absorb Quag. Because he's really good for this Tentacruel, which can be scary, and then he's good for the Omastar as well, which can be scary. Those are like two of the only scary things in this whole thing. I mean, he obviously probably kills both these guys. Like, he just like replaces Wishcash, basically. and does his job better. I want to see if I can get Zangoose in here and get him to just kill shit. Tentacruel, yeah, because it's next in the order. Next in line. Nobody has a fighting move, so that should be correct. Nobody's a dark move either. Baton Pass is normal, yeah. Zangoose does not get anything better than Brick Break, correct? Ooh, yo. Yo, imagine scaling X Scissor. Okay. Oh, it doesn't even kill. What the fuck? It'd be 69 to kill. Not doing that. Wait, hold on. Oh, wait, I just kill with Facade. I don't even need Brick Break. Oh, is Brick Break just like an inferior move? Oh, I guess it's only good against like, you know, like a rock type or a steel type. Yeah. So you might as well keep it. But yeah, you kill this guy. And then you kill this guy. Okay, we're frauding. We're frauding. We're getting some good frauds in here. I like that. Very nice. Gorbis also gets frauded. And then Gyarados, who has Focus Band. So we want to switch out on this guy, and he's either going to use Hydro Pump or Bounce. Yeah, just the fact that this guy's just kind of like... Well, I mean, what you do is you could kill Gorbis, correct? The biggest one is this Tentacruel. Yo, hole up, though. Hole up. Can this guy kill Lunatone? Okay, we do have Shadow Ball. Okay. I can almost guarantee this is not, like, the play, though. Yeah, it immediately baits Electabuzz, which we kill with Facade. And then it is Ludi, which we kill with Facade. Wait, I'm sorry. Hold on. Electabuzz, Ludi, baits Cloyster. Ooh, we actually don't kill that guy with Facade. See, the problem here is that he could click Explosion, and then Surf and Ice Beam are both random. Scarf always kills. So you go Scarf. Nobody ever does any damage, right? Like, nobody's ever going to quick attack or anything. So you S-ball, Facade, Facade, Facade. Clam Pearl. Facade. Nidoqueen, you go to Wishcash. I mean, this guy might just straight up replace Sceptile. Because he kills all of the guys that Sceptile does and more. Silk Scarf. Bro, he claims. He claims. This is going to be a ton of XP, though. Also, 67 is, like, kind of, you know, not good. The question is whether or not, like, this is actually necessary. Because, you know, like, how bad is it that we need to use this much XP on this one Pokemon? Yeah, I'm almost certainly bringing Kabutops. That's like something that just like always happens. And then like let's just say that we do bring Sceptile, so this would be like 4 guys already. I still don't entirely have like Electabuzz, Nidoqueen answered without the Zangoose. Yeah, I think you go 1, 2, 3 on this trainer. And then when Gyarados comes in, it's like random between Hydro Pump and Bounce. So if he Hydro Pumps here, he's just going to bounce. So you can even just get like a Leaf Blade off. And then switch to... Just because there's no reason not to, basically? Oh, wait, no. No, you don't. I'm sorry. Oh, wait, no. Okay, so you tank the Hydro Pump. You know he's going to bounce, so you Leaf Blade. He bounces. Then you switch to Kabutops on the bounce turn. See, I might want Magneton as well. Magneton is nice here, but like you have to play around it perfectly. You basically have to like have Sceptile come in, bait the bounce, and then have it click EQ. Or wait, I'm sorry. Oh no, wait, Magneton outspeeds him. That's a problem. You cannot do this. You cannot do this because Magneton outspeeds. The entire plan for that would have been what about Lantern? Lantern outspeeds as well because this guy's such a low level. Unlucky. Yeah, I think you probably use Kabutops on this guy. If he gets Focus Ban, I think Sceptile finishes it off. So I don't really think it's too bad. Sceptile also just kills Quagsire. That's pretty self-explanatory. And then Clefable. What is Clefable gonna die to here? My bad. Oh wait, okay. So these three. Kabutops kills Gyarados. Bates Quag. This would depend on Sceptile's health. Yeah, I mean, something like Donphan would be excellent here. I just don't know what other, what I'm going to need for this final trainer. You can insert, like, almost anything that outspeeds this Clefable here, though. So I'm really not worried about it. We're probably going to go with the Goose. Yeah, I'll need to find a different Quagsire answer if I don't bring Sceptile, but let's just check this out for now. So this one's pretty important. Basically, you just have something in and it uses Blizzard, and then you switch in Kabutops, you AP, and then Armaldo comes in, you AP again. You never die to Blizzard into Earthquake. And then Gengar comes out. This guy has 130 speed. He wants to click Thunderbolt. If I just get this guy to 66, we're fine. Yeah, and then you also don't have to worry about Destiny Bond. Polyrath comes in, wants to use Focus Punch. Yikes. Yeah, this guy is a problem. Oh my god, my Lodic just ruins this Omastar. What the fuck? Damn, too bad we're not in rain. Otherwise, this guy would just, like, destroy everything. I think this is the team. So he kills 5. And then it should be Nidoqueen Earthquake. For this first fight. It's basically going to be him and him. I can just use berries, right? Just use citrus berries to heal him. Oh, Cash gets outsped here, but should be fine. Yeah, like what if everything goes terribly wrong? Yeah, you can be XP shit for this.
Oh my god!
Yeah, but I am streaming.
Sorry. Oh my non-denominational deity.
Fellas? I should be fine. Just use Gyarados on this shit. Yeah, and then just bring in Sceptile with Lumberry. And then he kills on this side. Yeah, I should be fine here. Silk Scarf pre-burnt. Facade, TM. Okay, easy. Palm, okay. He wants to bounce here. Got some leaf blade action. Coming on the bounce, AP, no focus band. Quag, he should EQ. He uses yawn, whatever, doesn't matter. His max hit is a 135. We just stay in, click Leaf Blade. He uses frustration, whatever. I'm not gonna risk this. No reason to risk that. Okay. We need him for slow bro. He takes 3. We need Lum on this guy. Probably Lum on this guy. Lum on this guy. And then I guess he just AFKs or whatever. That's fine. Okay. There we go. Ooh, man. Okay. For some reason I thought that baited Slowbro because of Thunderwave. No, that definitely baits Omastar. Okay, I mean, pretty lucky he didn't get the boost. We do outspeed and two-shot here. Oh, he APs again. Okay, sure. No boost. He APs again. No boost 3 times? Okay. Kind of absurd. All right, beautiful. Yeah, Zangoose has put in work. Yeah, I think it's just 4 more fights before this is over. I mean, that triple might even be harder than, like, Mat 1, to be honest with you. Oh, wait, no, there's, the Whale Lord shit can happen, yeah. Whale Lord stuff is not good, not fun. Oh, and the Executor's a pain in the ass.
Was it what?
Was it a viable stone? Did you like keep it and raise it to be your own?
No. But the point is, all they did was give me painkillers and a diagnosis and then told me to leave. And for that, it was like 40 grand. And I'm like, now wait a minute. Like, I can understand.
But if that happened to you, by the way, in France or Germany, or Italy, you would
It was
go
like
in.
$20 or something.
It could be free.
Yeah. But so my question is, how did they drop it by 90%? And they didn't give me an answer. They're just like, oh, it's a discount. And I'm like, what's going on? Well, why are the costs this way?
I don't think hospitals have any idea. Every time I talk to people at the hospital, like, oh, like I can give you like sample medication, or if you can't afford it, we can like cut the costs a little bit, or like I don't know how hospitals charge anything. I'm not even sure. That shit great.
I know the left often says the insurance companies are corrupt and they're driving it, but I can tell you this. They were trying to bill the insurance company 40 grand, and then when they found out I didn't have insurance, they said, 4 grand?
Oh, no. Corporate hospital chains are really bad, too. They're all...
Usually, I believe hospitals tend to have 2 different books for how they charge if you have insurance, if you don't. I believe that's the case. That if you're a cash-paying customer, that you can, that there's a different charging guide for those people.
Part of a sick system that needs to be dismantled. And
I
get the
completely
pun
agree.
there. Sick system.
that was not even
broken.
intentional.
Yeah, the whole system's broken. I don't think I have the absolute answers. I don't know for sure. I just think, like, I see these stories. There was a kid who was like 15, got the flu and died. And I'm like, how does that happen? And mom was like, I couldn't afford Tamiflu. And I'm like, it's like $30. There was a horrible story of that guy who was diabetic, and then he couldn't afford the $50 for his insulin, and he dies. And I'm like, whoa.
Okay, wrong. Hold on. Now that story is really important because people, not only do people misquote it, they actually miss a really important aspect of insulin. A lot of people like to say in the United States, why don't, like, insulin is like almost free. Why do we charge so much? Like, insulin was discovered like 50 million fucking years ago. Why the fuck are we charging so much for it? The old insulin is cheap and easy to produce. The old insulin is super cheap, but the new insulin is way better. The new insulin is way sicker. That guy that died, I believe he was like gonna get married and he worked at Walmart or something. Or no. He was gonna get, I think he was a fiance or something. I feel like I remember the story several years ago. The guy that died was buying the cheaper, older insulin. But cheap old insulin sucks. It sucks shit compared to the new stuff. You can still buy the cheap old shit, and I'm pretty sure you can get it for really cheap in the United States, but nobody uses that shit anymore. What does the new stuff do? Really quickly. So every time you eat food, all of your food is ultimately broken down into a glucose, a monosaccharide. It's a very simple sugar called glucose. Glucose is a sugar that when it floats around in your blood, if you've got really high levels of glucose, what happens is it's like toxic to your body. It will cause the tips of your fingers, your eyes, it's called diabetic neuropathy. Body parts will start to rot and fall off. It's just the worst thing in the world is to have high levels of sugar in your body. So, but how can we eat sugar? When we eat sugar, the reason why we don't die because our blood sugar elevates is because when you eat sugar, your body produces a whole bunch of a hormone. Is insulin a hormone? It's a chemical called insulin. And what insulin does is it shoves all of that glucose into your cells. It packs all of the glucose into your cells so that it regulates your blood sugar for you automatically as you go throughout the day. Now, the problem with people that are diabetic is diabetic people have something called insulin resistance. That means that as you eat more and more sugar throughout your lifetime, your cells see insulin, they don't really give as much a fuck because I've seen it so many times before, and you start to need to produce more and more insulin to regulate your blood sugar. Eventually, you have to start injecting insulin into your body, right? But if you think about it, how do we think about, like, well, insulin? Insulin is produced dynamically throughout the day in response to spikes in blood sugar. The way that it used to work, my understanding is for old insulin, what used to happen is you inject a whole bunch of fucking insulin right after you've eaten food, and then hopefully you kind of like time it and do everything well, and like that's it. And it's like, it's a cucked system, because it's like you eat a bunch of food, maybe you poke your fucking finger every single day, you poke your finger with these little things, you measure your blood sugar, you inject insulin if you need it, blah, 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 blah. It's a shit-ass system. But today, we have synthetic analogs to insulin that is highly sophisticated, where you can inject insulin and all day it is a slow-acting, slow-release, responsive to blood sugar spikes. And the slow-acting dynamic insulin that we have today, you can inject and it will regulate your blood sugar to a much greater degree than the insulin in the past that would cause massive spikes based on your current insulin levels, basically. A whole bunch of fucking retards want to call me out on type 2 versus type 1 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disorder where your pancreas is killing your own fucking beta cells that are blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. I'm talking about type 2 diabetes. But it's the same shit, actually. Because in type 1 diabetes, which is an autoimmune disease, you still need to get exogenous insulin, and you're still going to run into the same problems using shit insulin versus really good insulin. But newer insulin is much, 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 much better than prior insulin, which is why it's stupid when people say, oh, why can't insulin be 20 bucks like it used to be? You can get that insulin in the past, but it sucks. And the guy that died because he said he couldn't afford the new insulin was buying the cheap insulin. I think he was buying it from fucking Walmart, I think. But he died because it sucks, yeah.
Well, hold on. I'll give him the money. Like, I can give him the money. I will gladly. So the challenge, I suppose, is if we do increase taxes to pay for this, do we really trust the system to not be corrupt and just steal it?
Well, I do, because I think that there are models in Canada, in the UK, in Germany,
Yeah, but
in
the United
France.
States has prison systems the way it is with our tax money, too. You know what I mean? Like, if we can clean the corruption up, I'm on board for a lot.
Destiny, you're kind of incorrect. You have methods of injecting insulin, but the stuff should be the same. I know you're incorrect there, so I feel like everything else you're going to type past that is wrong. Also, you have strict diets, so you know how much sugar you ingest. That's incorrect, too. You have like a glycemic index that can tell you roughly like what the corresponding blood sugar level would be based on what you eat, and you should be monitoring your diet as a diabetic, type 1 or type 2, because you want to reduce the amount of blood sugar you have. But like with newer insulins, like you can pretty much eat. I would know they probably still have dietary recommendations, but like you can still eat high sugary things, high in the glycemic index, and like monitor your blood sugar and like inject insulin and all that shit as well, right?
I think that's the question.
All right, well then there's something we can work on there, Tim.
Yeah, I think like a lot of the conversations
No, you were wrong. Okay, well maybe I'm wrong. Go look it up.
I have about taxes, people will be like, I oppose taxes because look what the government does with it. And I'm like, so you oppose corruption? You know what I mean? Like if you were told that you were getting a really sweet deal at discount price, you wouldn't be complaining about it. When you're told that they take your money and go blow up kids with it and then, you know, beat prisoners or whatever nonsense, I can understand why you're upset. The concept of taxes doesn't bother me. The concept of the government not being held accountable and corruption emerging from it bothers me. And like our tax dollars, not even our tax dollars, but printing money and giving it to massive pharmaceutical companies or war, and I'm just like, now I can understand why, you know, someone can come out and say taxation is theft. I disagree, but I understand their point. And I'm kind of just like, you know, it's really hard to argue against someone who says that when we know that a lot of evil people are stealing our money for evil things. Like, how do you clean that up?
Hey, Destiny, nursing student here. Type 2 can be mostly controlled by dietary. Type 1, you need the medications. Whoever's talking shit about insulin is an idiot, doesn't know the advanced long-acting and short-acting medications. Sure, I don't believe, once you're actually full-on diabetic, I don't think that you can control for your insulin versus your diabetes with only dietary restrictions. Unless you do an extreme, like super ketogenic or whatever, maybe. But I'm pretty sure even if you're on a very low sugar diet, I think you still have to take drugs. It might not be insulin, it might be other things when you're a type 2 diabetic, I think. But I mean, if you're in the nursing student, you might know more than me. All of my older family, all of them have like fucking diabetes or pre-diabetes. So I've done like a little bit of reading on diabetes because I was curious, but I could be wrong on that. But I'm pretty sure if you've got type 2, diabetes, I think you're almost always on some form of medication, unless maybe you do like a hardcore restrictive diet. Or like if you're pre-diabetic and you do a hardcore restrictive diet, maybe, I don't know if I don't remember if, I think I read that it was true that there was a small study, where certain dietary changes can reduce insulin resistance, I believe, but I think it's gotta be like a full-on like ketogenic diet.
Yeah.
You've gotta almost completely eliminate sugar from your diet to start to reset that insulin resistance. But yeah, I think, but there was only one small study I read, but.
I think you clean that up and most people are going to be fine with it. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
if you were spending $50 a month on Netflix and you knew that only you know like $40 was going to some random guy to go beat dogs, you'd be like, I'm not gonna give Netflix any money anymore.
Well, how do those dogs look?
That's right. It's like, are they foreign dogs? You're like, yeah. So I take issues with that, and I'm kind of like, you know, if you knew that you were contributing to a system that was using your money as efficiently as possible.
Yeah, someone in YouTube chat is saying insulin is a last resort for type 2 diabetes. That's probably true. I don't think you like get on insulin immediately. It's like once your blood sugar, there's like certain markers for once your blood sugar gets to a certain point. Like for pre-diabetics or for diabetics, I don't think you're on insulin immediately. There's other medications that you take to control your, to try to lower shit. But I think the natural progression of type 2 diabetics, I think a natural progression, if you continue to eat, you continue to go obese, is inevitably you will be taking some form of exogenous insulin, I believe.
you'd be like, oh, okay, you know, I'm getting some good from it for some reason. Like
People saying they start
like,
with metformin.
You know, a lot of people on the right, they don't want to defund the cops, right? But the cops have a lot of broken issues within their systems that need to be fixed as well. And I think just saying like the extremes of defund the police or just not don't really get to the problem of there's something wrong in the justice system as a whole.
Yeah, I would say I think societies are more comfortable with taxes when they have higher social trust, but I will say there is something to the fact beyond corruption that nobody's ever going to be as careful spending your money as you. So like there is something that's just going to be inherently wasted when you transfer it to bureaucrats when it's not their money.
I don't believe that to
So
be true.
here's the
but-
funny thing. We'll start to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Comment.
I drank too much coffee. I got to run to the restroom.
All right.
This is true.
We'll wrap up.
Both parties on
I'm
this
not
side
your
of the
buddy guy
table.
saying, why are we listening to three lefties debate politics? Where is the right-wing representation?
That's, hey man, I don't know what show you're watching here.
So, but I think that's the like, I guess the final thought I'll say on this is that I think for shows like yours, you exist on a political space where you assume everybody to your right is right-wing,
Yep.
even moderates and centrists and
Yep.
liberals.
I think I know some moderates, and their politics are definitely to the left of yours. And
I
I
think
have a
there's a
lot of
leftist.
Republican friends too, and I debate these issues with them on a regular basis. So your politics is a lot closer to theirs, to be honest, based on what I've heard.
I mean, it's weird to
but
say that
honestly,
conservatives would be-
Tim, just prove me wrong. Like, talk about socialized healthcare all the time on your show, and I'll be looking for it now.
It's crazy too, like the abortion thing.
No, sure won't.
We talk about a lot, like ad nauseum. But it's weird because in this culture war, the tribal left, whatever you want to call them, I'm not saying all leftists, but the tribal commentary.
Wow, Fed Zero, thank you for the tier 5 separate. Been enjoying content more and more each year. Keep kicking ass. That's because you're getting older and wiser, my dude.
Very left is like I'll give you an example. The Young Turks did a video where they called me ugly because I talked about attraction privilege. I don't know how you call it, beauty privilege
Pretty
or whatever.
privilege.
And I was talking about how conservatives are more likely to be attractive because it's easier to go through life as an attractive person. Thus, you're given benefits that you associate to your abilities instead of society, resulting in a conservative worldview. And those who are less attractive have it harder, resulting in a collectivist worldview. And instead of just like telling me I was wrong, they just called me ugly.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
like, I
do you
don't know, I
have
don't know.
statistics to back up your
Yes.
their?
So,
but who?
it's true.
Who decides who's ugly and who's attractive?
I like how she
they did
asked for
studies where they
statistics
would
and now
show
rejects
images
the
of people
methodology
to men
without
and
even
women and
knowing.
ask them to rate them on a scale of 1 to 10, then create a curve of attraction. And those people that they showed pictures of, they had interviewed them on their political leanings and found a correlation between attraction and political leaning. I'm sorry, beauty, perceived beauty, and political leanings. But this is like not even controversial among the left. This is privilege, right?
Hey, if we're on the right side of things and we're uglier, I'm totally fine with that.
But so what happens is you go through life and you're ugly. People are meaner to you. They're less interested in you. You have a harder time of things. You're going to lean towards collectivist approaches to things, like we need to work together to fix these problems. But if you're attractive and people are nice to you all the time, it's like that 30 Rock episode, The Bubble, where
I love
3
30 Rock.
bosses?
what was that guy's? John Hamm. It's like
Hamm.
everyone's super nice to him.
Yeah.
He thought he was really good at everything, but he was just attractive. But like my point is not to talk about that. My point is to just insult me instead of address the issue.
I disagree with the ad hominem, but you know it's not me. So.
Unless it's about
Well,
his
anyway, I
music.
think we should wrap it up because we're a little bit long. Do you guys want to say anything before we finish?
Well, it got a little heated, but I appreciate you having me on, Tim,
Absolutely.
for sure. And I know you don't want to have Sam on, but I hope you reconsider. I think it could be a good discussion.
Yeah, there's. I will say it with absolute conviction.
He will never come on my show.
There's a lot of people who have blacklisted that guy from various shows, and he knows it.
Yeah, it's
And he's
Sam-
talked about it.
He wears it like a badge of honor.
But he needs to stop saying it's because they're scared of him. It's because he's a dick.
He might be both. It might be both.
No one's scared of him.
All right.
Like it's not my business to bring up other podcasts and networks in general, but like I've even had people ask me, and I'm like, well, I don't know. Look, man, we're willing to have people on the show, and then they'll highlight something he did, and they're like, that crossed the line, and I'm like, all right,
Right. Well, if it's about free flowing
Didn't he say
debate, and
he was
he's
going to
just a
kill
dick,
somebody?
I think
Jesus.
so.
Was it Patrick Bet David?
I have no idea.
I could be wrong about this, but I probably
I'm
should.
pretty sure you're wrong about this.
Let me see if I can look it up.
I feel like I would have heard
Someone's
this.
Gonna kill somebody?
In a karate battle or like? with
It was
a weapon?
something like if he had the right and he would hang the rich, he would hang Patrick Bet David or something like that.
Yeah, that was a joke.
All right, well, I don't know too much about it. I can tell you it's like
He's sarcastic.
jokes like that freak people out, I guess. So
I
you
think
can call
he
it a
was-
joke.
I think he
but-
was responding to something. I can't. Again, these are people who are not myself, and I do 15 hours of new content on my program every day, or every week. So it's hard for me to keep track.
That went from being a fuck ton of work to way less work in like one correction.
Right on. Sean?
Yeah, so you can find me on YouTube at Actual Justice Warrior, on Twitter at IamSean90. And as for Sam Teeter, I'm also a New Yorker. I will not only go on his show in studio and debate him, I
Oh, he'd
will
love
also
it.
take him out to dinner, hang out with him, become his best friend, maybe even wear matching shirts and all of that. So I am available. I'm not afraid of Sam Teeter, so, you know, deliver the message.
Love it.
Right on. Well, I really do appreciate you coming. I think
Sure.
It was great.
Yep.
And Sean, thanks for joining in. And we're trying to figure out how to do this properly. You know, I think because of who I am, it's impossible for just to like me to sit back and have people have a conversation. So I do want to apologize because you're definitely 2 against 1, like both of us. Although on the Ukraine thing, you guys definitely had me. I don't know. I'm looking at these both of you. I'm like, what's going on here? So just for future for everybody, we'll try and make sure that it's not so like I felt like we were very 2 against 1. It wasn't very fair. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know.
At times.
I can handle it.
Right on. Well, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
And for everybody who watched, thanks for watching and become a member at timcast.com. We have a lot of more shows like this ramping up next week, the week after that. We're having a really, really big one in a couple weeks. We're getting some celebrities who are interested, and I'm really impressed.
Yeah, am I
excited.
sitting where Kanye sat?
No, that's that one.
Oh, so I'm just
Who's
sitting
they?
where
Up
Super
Fuentes
Seamus.
sat.
No, he sat there.
Oh, yikes.
Who else was on that night?
Was it
Ian?
Luke on?
No.
Milo and Fuentes, right?
Was it Luke? Oh, yeah, it was Luke signature. Anyway, we'll wrap it up. Thanks so much for hanging out, everybody. I hope it was to you exactly what you thought it was going to be, and now both the left and the right can make clips about who owned whom and when. Thanks for hanging out,
Perfect.
and we'll see you all next time.
One of the important principles that I've discovered that's really funny as you reflect on that show that we just watched is a lot of people say things like first impressions are really important. Your first impression is important, blah, 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 blah. I actually completely disagree with that. I don't think first impressions are that important. I think your last impression is really important. From the dating context, the way that I would say this is like, if you take a girl out on a date and it starts off like kind of rocky or kind of weird, but it ends on a really strong note, that's going to be what they remember. If you take a girl on a date and it starts off amazingly and it kind of like feathers out and is kind of boring, that's going to be what they remember.
True.
I feel
That's
like the
so
impression
fucking
that I
true,
have, like an
actually.
emotional level coming away from this, is Emma did really well, but it's only because in like the last like fourth of this, when they stumbled onto these Ukraine topics, she absolutely, like, Tim Pool had no idea what he was talking about. And Sean joined in too, and it was like horrible. For the majority of this, I think that Emma did
That's fine.
markedly worse than Tim Pool, but just because of the ending, it feels like she ended on such a strong note. Jesus.
Okay, and this guy wants to pump. Wow, we finally got through that fucking video. That actually took forever.
Scrapped. I'm sure they keep most things.
Hello? Convenient. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, I want to finish this up.
And will, as you know, be accused of being. I know how it goes. There's been one light of ray of sunlight, unequivocally. I think it's the World Cup. Recently, the Overwatch World Cup has been going on. Seems like it has engaged the community very strongly. Everyone's really happy. Lots of fun things happening, fun narratives. Some little bits of beef and controversy emerging too, but. Yeah, I mean, how much have each of you followed the World Cup and kind of how have you found it? Guru, how much have you been watching, if at all?
I've been watching a little bit of the streamers watch it. I think it's really good. And, you know, I think, look at other games. Shroud has a really good system with, you know, just watching Valorant, for example, like watching the pro scene. I wish we could watch Overwatch League, like, and co-stream it on Twitch. But, I don't know. I think it's really good for the community and really good for the game, and it brings attention to everybody involved, and you know, community seems to like it for sure. I think it's good.
Yeah, Ava, have you been watching it?
Well, okay, so it's on like pretty much exactly at the times that so no, I haven't watched
That's
it at
fair.
all.
That's fair.
But
I also myself have not watched much, so don't feel guilty.
I've seen it's like crazy for the people that co-stream it. Like it does so well for co-streamers. And yeah, I think it's obviously a great thing. I think there's some like there's some players that are on teams that are like controversial that maybe shouldn't be on teams. I'm not gonna name names, of course, but I think like having some players represent entire countries is always going to be a tough thing, I guess, because some people are just controversial people.
It's true.
Why is it not
Karki,
coming
you,
through? What the fuck?
You enjoyed the World Cup?
Yeah, I think the co-streaming with the drops has been obviously beneficial for streamers.
Wait, what happened to?
But like as Overwatch
The fuck just happened?
It's true. Karki, have you enjoyed the World Cup?
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, she was talking about oh god, I already forget his name. Oh, Aspire. She was talking about Aspire because Aspire playing for Team Canada. He got kicked off of Team Canada because there are essentially groomer allegations against him. Not good. He basically had sex with a 17-year-old girl. They started talking when she was 16, and he would like love bombed her, and he was like really manipulative and like told her who she can and can't be friends with, and like would constantly like guilt trip her into hanging out with him and all kinds of just like really not good shit. Yeah.
Yeah, the co-streaming with the drops has been obviously beneficial for streamers, but like as Overwatch as a whole, right? It brought like a whole new audience to like rally for their country, and I think I actually think this is just like the first part, because like a lot of these matches were kind of stompy, because like you get a lot of like, you know, underdog countries, and some of them were like big. I mean, this is like a wide qualifier with a lot of countries that may not have had like super competitive players. Some teams were just rolled up with like, you know, a couple of ladder players with like not too much like high level experience. You can see the skill discrepancy. I think World Cup's gonna get even better. Hopefully we still get to continue to co-stream like the when all the top teams start making it, because this was like how many, like 16 to 20 30 teams. Once we narrow it down, you can get like close. I love like close matches, and I think it's a lot more fun to watch that versus stomps. But so far it's been great. I have nothing bad to say about it.
Yeah, that might be like a format thing that they may want to look at, because obviously you want to give teams who we might call minnows, right, like underdogs, the chance to qualify. Right. But yeah, I think there were some meme matches where, you know, like Team USA is just like shitting on people and putting people on off rolls and trolling semi. So.
Well, you have to give them the opportunity to show themselves. What if they just like pull like they're like a dark horse? They just like absolutely roll randomly, and like, you know, that's not even on, that's on USA for trying to troll.
Well,
thinking they can just win.
Team Spain, for example, were a big upset to qualify for BlizzCon. They defeated, you know, like I saw lots of fun about that they were, you know, never fancied to qualify, and they did. So that's really good. Yeah, I mean, I think it's been awesome. I think the World Cup's always been a big, like, you know, we had a long break, but it was always a big hype moment for the Dutch community. And I think it's been great to see people rooting for their teams. Unequivocal dub, I think. Like, obviously, you know, it can be improved. Like we talked about some of these format issues. I know Bad Patchy Mari was talking about a couple of things that he'd like changed and stuff. But I think a lot of the streamers did a great job of like putting a lot of attention to it. There were some interviews afterwards. Flash was paying people gifted subs to run like Reinhardt or Winston or whatever in certain matches or whatever. So a little bit of tomfoolery occurred. So yeah, it was great. Is there anything kind of more you'd want to see from it, Guru? Like anything else you kind of wanted from it?
I think in-person events, but I mean that's kind of difficult. Like in the first few years of Overwatch, they were just flying people out to every single location. I think that was so cool, but I think it's a bit harder to do now. I don't know.
Budget.
I think it's fine as it is. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously it could do improvements, but I can't think of anything.
Sure. And I think, it's going to be cool when we come through in BlizzCon and we actually get to see them play in person. That'll be amazing. Hopefully we'll all be at BlizzCon to see it live. But yeah, that should be amazing to see the teams compete in LAN. Yeah, Ava, what about yourself? Any sort of thoughts on things you want to see more of in the World Cup?
Well, like I said, I haven't watched it really, so anything I know about it is just from like what people are saying in Discords or like on Twitter and stuff. Which
Is
like
there?
the only
Sorry, let me just reframe the question. Then, if you haven't really like seen it yourself, if you could, would you watch it? And if not, like, what would potentially draw your interest, if at all, if it's possible?
If I could, I would probably watch it a little bit. I wouldn't like no life it probably, but I would like watch it when I have
The boost, okay.
some free time to watch it, I guess. And
Probably doesn't matter.
I think maybe something that would make it more worth watching would be, of course, I don't know how many player interviews they actually do, but more player interviews of like people that I know already.
Right, got you.
Like Team USA, Team Canada, maybe some Europeans.
Sure.
Some of them.
Some of them.
Not
Some
all.
of those Europeans. I mean, yeah, I think the narratives are always what drew people. I think early Overwatch, a lot of the big World Cup players were content creators, or were streamers, like Seagull and XQC were playing. Shadowburn was playing, I remember, like, so there's definitely like an interest when you're like, oh my god, like, Guru and Ava are playing, like, oh, I want to see what they got to say,
That would
like,
be
after.
crazy. Put us
So-
in World Cup.
Put Guru in right now. So that's interesting. I think one thing I saw people say was that there wasn't a lot of support spectation, which brought up the whole like, remember when Twitch had the all access pass
That
where you
was
could
crazy.
where
yeah.
you could like spectate a specific person's POV. That would be amazing. I think it would also go a long way for the co-streams, because if you're a support streamer, you
Okay,
might
are we just
wanna
doing
co-stream
Bouncy House?
a
Probably.
particular, you just supports all the
That's
time.
a
You
really
might
good
just want to
point,
watch
yeah.
supports all the time and be like, oh my god, they're doing this and they're doing that, right? So obviously I think they did an amazing job, but in terms of like
Hold on, let me take a piss. So. I think we're going with the bounce house. I mean, I don't even know what else there would be to consider here. I'm less concerned about the bounce house and I'm more concerned about this executor. I don't think I have many answers to this guy. somehow this guy always baits egg bomb, which is really, really, really good. I think the play is go into Firo. We're gonna bring Immense. Honestly, we probably bring Kabutops as well. I mean, if Firo dies, like, LOL, who cares? No, he doesn't always kill at 69. Well, he's coming in on an egg bomb anyway, right? So. Also, if he gets Quick Claw, Ancient, or sorry. Oh, wait, no, he actually uses Psychic. Oh, wait, hold on. I don't know. I feel like this is the better play. There actually is a chance he uses Ice Beam. So we do that. And then we're just gonna have like battle armor guys in the back pretty much. I only have 2 of them, unfortunately, but... Let's assume Firo kills Egg. Baits D-Knight. Donphan owns D-Knight. Donphan baits Slacking, which is Surf. This should just always be Surf. If I fuck up, Yeah. I mean, this might seem kind of ridiculous, but I would much rather risk Magneton than Salamence. Okay, we're running it up. Oh, wait. Fly over D-Claw, right? Yep, Mence outspeeds. Okay. Shot. Alright. God, I'm fucking scared, bro. Surfmon is right here. Quick Claw Water Spout. Oh my god, we are so lucky. Oh my god, no. Alright. No crit. HP Ghost is so good. Okay, he wants to Rock Slide. Superpower and Earthquake overlap. If I switch Sphere Wind on the wrong thing... So I'm only ever dead to Superpower crit. Oh wait, no, I'm dead to Rock Slide crit here. I think this is correct. We pivot through this guy. We pray for the EQ. Earthquake. Perfect. Perfect. Dropback always kills. Bait Executor. Click Drill Peck. That's fine, don't crit me. Okay. Oh, we don't always kill though. Okay. We just have to click moves. Oh my god, we outspeed still? I thought he was just outspeed because I'm fucking Brave Nature, bro. Holy shit. Oh my god, that was really fucking scary, holy shit. This should always be Rock Slide. This is just a go to Donphan angle. Go straight into Donphan. And we just head smash. Okay, this should be Surf. But I'm not taking any Hyper Beam chances here. So I'm pivoting through Kavatops. Now this is always Earthquake? Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. This is always Truant. Okay, this is always Truant. He's loafing around. We outspeed and click Fly. Loafing around. Okay. Actually, something that's a really big problem is if he clicks Dragon Dance here, Magneton does not outspeed anymore. I'm just gonna click Rock Slide. HP Flying, that's fine. We're never to the crit. Now we are dead to crit though, which is a problem. So this is fine. We can just pivot back and forth. Because he always wants to Earthquake. I think he's -1. Easy game. Wow, and no deaths. I got really lucky on that Executor. I can't lie, man. That was pretty wild. We've officially deleted Dragon Claw though, so not good, but yeah, I mean, Mat 1 cleared. Pretty good. Pretty good. I don't even know when the fuck I'm gonna be streaming again for this Magma Hideout though, I'll be honest, man, because I have to plan the entire Magma Hideout and do it all in one stream, which is gonna fucking blow, so GG's, I guess.